Detroit Madmans back, and I've got a haul for October 14. A little bit of new pickups, a little bit of crusty Silver Age pickups, and then a few books from Half Price Books. So check it out. So you gotta love this cover. If you don't know, Scotty Young has a new book out this week. This, I believe, is a variant cover. It's called Fuck Fairyland. So I thought that was kind of eye-catching. But the regular book is I Hate Fairyland. So I picked up both covers for that. And I believe he does artwork, cover, and story on this. So it should be pretty interesting. But that cover was staring at me on the shelf as soon as I walked in. Definitely had to get that. So, next up, check this out. You've probably seen this in a ton of videos today. But it's that Batman 45. Really eye-appealing cover. Gorgeous color. I love the pink and the black. And so stoked about that. Great looking cover. Next up, Rebels number 7. Long. I can't believe this is issue 7 already. It's a long series already. And if you haven't checked it out, Dark Horse, I think you like it. It's a period comic. Revolutionary time frame. Really good. Next up, picked up Sex Criminals number 13. Really love that minimalistic cover. Kind of reminds me of Madmen. But this series is crazy. Next up, one of my favorite books out right now. Harrow County, issue 6. Every cover on this book's been pretty crazy, but you got to check out the interior artwork on these books. Next time you're at the shop, ask them for Harrow County and leaf through it. You won't believe it. It's pretty cool. Believe this came out last week, and I didn't have it on my saver, so I missed it. This is Dark Corridor, issue 3 by Image, and it's like a mob title. It's got some pretty interesting artwork, kind of Nagel-ish. Next up, issue 2 of the 4-part series, Strange Fruit. You know, this is just one of those things that caught my eye when issue 1 came out on the shelf. Interesting interior artwork, but I have yet to read issue 1, so this will be one of those things. I'll probably get all 4 parts and then dive into it at some point. Alright, I'm sure a lot of you have either put this on your list or picked it up. This is the Harley Quinn homage cover to The Shining. And it's great. I like this cover. It's a really fun cover. And a throwback to a real classic movie. Alright, so I was excited about this. I picked up another 1 in 50 Ramos variant. A really sweet looking cover. And I noticed these are, $20, $25 on eBay, I think. So, yeah, I was happy to pick that up. Only for a couple bucks over cover price. So, maybe got some trade bait for later on. Definitely. They didn't have the J. Scott Campbell cover. Any of the shops I was at over the last week. So, definitely liked this one the most, and I was happy to pick up a second copy of that. And since I missed out the first time this came out, I said, what the heck, I went ahead and grabbed 2 copies of the second printing of the Scooby-Doo team-up with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, featuring the Gotham Girls. It's pretty cool. I like the red tint. It's really Harley Quinn-esque with the red tint on this printing. Alright, so they relaunched Spider-Gwen after 5 issues and rebooted it at issue 1. And there was a couple cool variants out today, so they sucked me in. Marvel's good at that. I got this for $1 over cover. This was the Jack Kirby variant, the monster variant. So definitely really cool looking. I like these monster books, so picked that one up. And then a little Lottie Dottie, Spider-Gwen, the hip hop variant. Swipe with the classic Slick Rick album cover. This one's actually pretty dope. Like that one. And these were all cover price, so I was pretty happy about that. Now I got a couple of picks of the week and a hot book alert. So this one is House of Axe. It's Antarctic Press, small publisher, real small print run. This has such cool artwork in it. Hopefully I'll be able to do a follow-up video with this book and show some of the artwork inside. It's a black and white comic inside, but it has amazing pencils and ink. So keep an eye on your shelves for this if you see it. I think it's a good couple of dollars. Actually, it's $3.99. A good $4 invested in that for a great read, and who knows what this will do in the future. I think it's just a one-shot, so. But here is my hot book of the week alert. Good luck trying to find this book around me. It's non-existent. You cannot find this book. You can call every shop in 100-mile radius, and it just is nowhere to be found in the same day it came out. So it's Black Mask Comics Clandestino, issue number 1. I actually had 3 copies of this, and a gentleman in line in front of me, was at the comic shop at open. I made a beeline to where these were at, picked all 3 off the shelf, was standing in line. The guy in front of me asked the shop guy if he had any. He said, we had 3. Somebody has them in their hand, and no dice. Collectors come first. If they want them, they get them. It's first come, first serve. But I asked him what he wanted, and I just handed him one of these and said, have a nice day, and made the guy's day. He was totally stoked. And got some kudos from the shop owner, too. He definitely was very appreciative that I hooked another one of his customers up. So definitely pick that book up. Black Mask books always blow up now. And then I was happy to have another shop owner at a second shop I went to hook me up with this from behind the counter. It might have been one of his own copies. It was Space Riders number 4. Had come out previously, and definitely awesome. The cover art's one thing on this, but the interior of this book's amazing too. Definitely on the lookout for some other Black Mask stuff, such as Young Terrorists. Haven't been able to find it. It's just non-existent in my area. We've got a Comic-Con coming up next week, so hoping to be able to pick some issues up there. Alright, so this was pretty fun. I was at A1 last night and just stopped in to get a little peek at what was coming out today. Did a little digging and found a whole bunch of Silver Age books for $1. So I'm going to show you those. These first, I think, 6 or 7 books I got for $1. I got this one. It's Thor 136. Outside of the staples down here that are ripped away, it's intact. Inner pages are all good. You know I like dollar reader books, especially Silver Age Marvel. And that's a filler. I didn't have that book, so it goes in the lot, or goes in my run, and will sit there until I feel, if ever, the need to upgrade. Next up for $1, Detective 351. It's got a little bit of wrinkles on this book. Nothing major, and again, it's an intact book. Can't beat stuff like this for $1. I'm always on the prowl. Check this out, Detective 322. It is missing a small portion of the front cover there. This was $1 as well. Completely stoked about that. Look at Batman. Got some kind of genie hat on. Oh, it is a genie hat because he's coming out of the genie lamp down there. Got Robin. That classic, I guess that would be like Bob Kane artwork, and just amazing. Such a big Batman fanboy right now. Next up, super crusty Detective Comics number 370. As you can see, it was stuck to something. It's missing a few patches on the bottom. But again, once you get past the front cover on these books, they're all good. And interior artwork of these, just as fun as the outside. So, happy to get that one. Here's another one. Detective Comics 376. Missing a thumb, about the size of a thumbprint up in the top right corner from the cover. It's got about 4 or 5 good, real good color breaking creases on the front cover. The lower staple on the left is ravaged, but that's why it's $1 comic, and trust me, I love these just as much as anything else. Next up, Detective 342. This one's not in bad shape for $1, I gotta tell you. It has a couple of issues where the staples are and the left side of the book, but outside of that, issue 342, stoked to have that. Believe this was, no, I got a couple more dollar books left. This is Detective 413. I love that logo at the top when they did the Batman and Batgirl logo. It looks dope. And this one has that crazy witch-looking person on the cover. Graveyard scene, the kids with the lanterns. I love the spooky stuff going on here. And steal for $1 all day long. This is one of those comics that at some point portions of the cover was wet, and then wherever it was stacked, it stuck to the book that was on top of it. So it's missing some paint on the left, as you can see there. The ink's gone. A little bit of kind of brittle. Since it was wet, it has the rusted staples, and the pages inside are pretty brittle. But I actually, this was one of the 2 I read as soon as I got home from the shop last night, and this one was pretty cool. Got this one for $1 as well. Detective 381. Really crunchy cover. Has a lot of texture to it. A little bit of that wrinkly feeling. But I love that cover. Check that out. So that's Batman and Robin in Detective Comics 381. And here's another $1 comic. Detective 368. Crunchy around the corners. This book's actually intact with no problems on the staples whatsoever. So this will be a good read. He's standing, as you can see, over the city, and you've got the waterways in the background, and he's a giant with a helicopter flying around. And 7 Wonder Crimes of Gotham. That'll be interesting. I love that that stance too. He's just like, sup. Alright, so that ended the dollar books, and now these are the $2 books. I got a few $2 books, and this one's cool. This one is, I was surprised at this because this book is not in bad shape whatsoever. And this is Detective 402. Man or Bat, I'm not 100% sure. I thought I looked this up last night, but I think it might be one of the early appearances of Man Bat. And it's another one of those spooky early 70s Batman covers. It's really cool. Only issue I have with this book whatsoever was a bit of a rolled spine on the bottom. And a multitude of spine ticks going up. Outside of that, I thought this was pretty cool. $2, man. Come on. I'm not going to pass that. This one was $2, and I actually had this comic on my list to buy, so it's still on my list to buy. I like this cover. It's the Batman and Robin Mummy Crime Fighters cover, and you got the robbers running out of the bank, and Batman and Robin come down wrapped as mummies. But the deal with this one is it was wet. It had some water damage down the left side there, and the staples are rusted. Outside of that, I like this book. If it just didn't have the rusted staples even, I think this book would have been sell for 5 times more than what he was asking. So, really cool. And so next up, I got this for a few dollars, and this is my second copy of this, but I really like this book, and this will allow me to give one to my brother now. I'm not sure which one's in better shape, because I think the other one might be in better shape, but this one definitely pretty cool. It's Detective 373. It's got that early appearance of Mr. Freeze. It's frozen Batman there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Definitely jumped on it, even though I already knew that it was in my collection. Superman 161, $3 comic, and this one's not bad at all. 161 Superman. Are you kidding me? It's early 12th center. I even like the cover. You've got some craziness going down here. Shooting Superman, bullets bouncing off him. It's not even in that bad a condition. It's got issues on the spine, and the corners are kind of got a little bit of that stuff in the corner or whatever. But man, $3. I had to pinch myself last night. I was tripping. I was getting all the Silver Age goodness, and it smells so good too. Love it. But I didn't stop with the Silver Age. Found a couple Bronze Age books that I had on my list. They must have got a bunch of X-Men or threw a long box of X-Men up and restocked a little bit, because normally they don't have any issues in their Uncanny run, back issue runs that are below issue 160. And I found this, issue 149. Probably a 7 or an 8, I guess, for $2. So I jumped on that. I didn't have this one yet, so definitely wanted that one. I like this cover. I love that brown outfit. Any Wolverine comic with him in that brown outfit's dope. And then look at this. Finally picked this up. I'm not even going to tell you how much I paid for this. Let's just say I'm as happy as can be with the price. X-Men 140. It's got that brown Wolverine with the Wendigo. Just such an awesome comic. I had this and it was just ravaged when I was a kid. So dope. And then next up, Fantastic Four, issue 46. Slightly crunchy. Slightly issues with the spine. But in no part of this book is not intact. I love this cover. It's, believe, it might be the first Inhumans. I don't know. I know it's got some significance. It's definitely not the first Inhumans. It's it might be first Black Bolt. I don't know, something like that. At any rate, I'm happy to have this. Look at that. $6. Loving it. Next up, finally can cross this off my list. Get this for a great price. It's the second appearance of Poison Ivy. Yeah, second appearance of Poison Ivy. Wish she was on the cover, but it's Batman and Robin in the Batcave watching the adventures of Batman on TV, and it's Batman issue 183. So I was happy to get that. And that was my last book that I got last night from A1. And then what I have left is a couple of things that I got at Half Price Books over the weekend. And a couple of books that I'll show you that I got on eBay that are kind of funny. So first up, $2. Another issue off my Millennium Comics collection. You know, I'm doing that DC Millennium reprints, and one of my all-time favorite covers, and this reprints Superman 233 with the classic Neil Adams cover where he's breaking the kryptonite chains, and this reprints the story where Superman is no longer susceptible to kryptonite. He's immune to it, so takes Superman in a whole new direction, I guess. So I was happy about that for $1.99. And then check this out. This is just one of those books that this is like a $30, $35 book or something, I don't know. And it's called Agonizing Love, the Golden Era of Romance Comics. And it's one of those books that has just hundreds of pages of awesome covers and stories from, you know, Golden Age books, and the history, I guess the history and artists and writers of the books in that era. And I have to admit, I'm not too well versed in the history of romance comics at all. You know, obviously we would have never looked twice at them as kids in the 70s. At least I wouldn't have in the 80s. And now, you know what? You realize that some of the greatest artists in comics that have ever done comics worked on these books. So it should be a really interesting read when I decide to look through that. And I got that for $10, and it was a steal. It's like a $30, $40 book. Next up, for $5, I got the first trade paperback or graphic novel of The Walking Dead. Outside of issue 1, I've never ever read any part of this series, so I think this will be a good start to go through. I don't know if this is 4 or 5 issues or whatever, but the price was right. $5. It's brand new. It literally is brand new. It doesn't feel like it's ever been messed with. So who knows? Maybe I'll start reading The Walking Dead. All right, next up, this was my buy of the day at Half Price Books. I'm telling you, I was taken back when I saw it because I never knew this existed, and you know, I've never paid attention to a lot of books or trades or anything like that when it comes to comics that were more modern. I've always bought books that dealt with Golden Age of comics, Silver Age of comics. So when I saw this, and it's Amazing Spider-Man, the saga of the alien costume, and I realized what it was for only $8, I was completely stoked. So what it does is tells the story across all the issues of Amazing Spider-Man when the alien costume was introduced, and it's in that awesome paper. I really love the paper stock they use and the coloring in these books that came out in the 90s and the 80s. So yeah, check this out. It's really cool. Can't wait to sit down with this. I really can't. There's the I think that was from the first appearance of the Rose. and that would have been issue 253. So this is issue 252 right here. Oh, and this is an excerpt from the Marvel Age that I found not too long ago. That article there about the Black Spider-Man, about the alien costume. So I was happy. I mean, this thing is in such good condition too. Not ravaged in any way. So last but not least, I was, and this is just kind of a goofball thing, but I'm actually surprised at the value in these. I was reading an article and just got a hair up my ass, that they were going to do a movie or some kind of, animated feature maybe about Danger Mouse. And so I thought to myself, was Danger Mouse in the comics or what? And sure enough, in this comic called Count Duckula, issue number 3, it's the first appearance of Danger Mouse. And so I went on eBay to try to find these, and I was either too late, or what I thought was too late, or they're just hard to find. So I was able to get 3 copies, averaged, $3 a piece on these copies, and now I can't find any. There's a couple on eBay. There was one up for like 20, and then there was one up for like $80. Someone that actually had one graded. So I thought it was pretty funny. So at any rate, if you have this comic, check it out. It is the first appearance of Danger Mouse, and apparently, I guess they're going to do some kind of feature with them. So I don't know. I wouldn't call it a hot book, but maybe if it's scarce in any way, it's an interesting talking piece. So, well, I hope you guys are having a great day and you're loving your comics, because I know I am. And yeah, check it out. Hey, and then I've seen a couple new people do haul videos lately, and specifically someone today. She was doing some awesome Silver Age hauls. So if you go search for comic hauls and you see someone named Poison Ivy, you got to check her out. She just started out, but she's had a couple comic hauls, and I thought they were pretty cool so far. So just giving her a shout out, and thanking her for checking out my videos as well. Alright guys, peace out. Enjoy those comics. Detroit Madman.